Welcome to Fridays for Fundraising. In the next 5 minutes, you're going to learn one step you can take before you leave the office today that can move fundraising forward for your small nonprofit. Hi, I'm Kelly, founder of From Scratch Fundraising, where we help nonprofit leaders raise more dough without burning anything. Every Friday, I'm here to serve up one bite-sized fundraising assignment that you can finish in about an hour. Think of it as your weekly recipe for sustainable fundraising success. No overwhelm, just actionable steps that actually move the needle. We are in March, and March always gets me thinking about spring. It is not spring where I live. It is snowing outside as I'm recording this, so we are not in spring yet. But I think right now I'm thinking about spring and I'm thinking about new beginnings. Of course, in the fundraising sphere, that gets us thinking about new donors and how we welcome people into our communities. Now, if you're a lot like a lot of nonprofits, when you are trying to approach new individuals that you are hoping might become donors, your opening act is asking for a donation. And that is actually a really terrible approach. And I want to contextualize it in normal relationship building, right? So if I'm planning to move next week and I need somebody to help me move, I'm not going to go to the grocery store and ask a random person that I encounter in the grocery store if they want to help me move. Why? Because they don't know me. Why would they want to help me? They don't know me. I'm a random person. I'm asking them to show up at my house and move my stuff, and just why would they want to do that? Essentially is the big question, right? And so the problem that is off-putting here is that I've asked somebody for a favor before they really know me, right? If I'm planning to move, the person I go talk to is a friend, is a family member. We don't ask random strangers for favors. And yet, in the nonprofit sphere, we somehow seem to think that random strangers want to give us their hard-earned money when they know nothing about us. So we set up ad campaigns on social media asking for donations. We ask for donations when we're given an opportunity at a table somewhere. Our opening act is asking for money. And then we wonder why people run screaming off our email list because we came on too strong. This week, we are going to dive into what to do instead and think about why someone would want to interact with us. So instead of walking up to a random stranger in the grocery store and asking them to help you move or donate to your nonprofit, let's talk about what to do instead. What we want to do instead is ask someone to be in a relationship with us, right? If you meet somebody cool, you bump into somebody, you're checking out on your groceries, you're having a chat with them, they seem really cool. You're not going to ask them to do you a favor first. You're going to say like, hey, do you want to hang out sometime? You want to go grab coffee? Something like that, right? We're starting out a relationship by saying like, hey, you seem cool. I think I might want to be friends with you. Let's find out by exploring this relationship. The kind of nonprofit equivalent to that is inviting somebody onto your email list. Okay? It's not asking them to donate. It's asking them onto the email list. It's, hey, why don't you subscribe to our email list, learn a little bit about us, and see if you want to be friends with us. And then when we're ready to see if they want to be friends with us, that's the solicitation. That's the asking them to help you move because they're a friend. As you're thinking about how to get people onto your email list, again, what I see a lot of nonprofits doing is just, we have in the footer of our website, join our newsletter. I don't know about you. I don't subscribe to a lot of those. I don't really want more stuff in my inbox. I don't really want random updates from people. What does get me to subscribe is things that I think will benefit me or things I want to learn about. So I want to use an example of a nonprofit that helps parents delay introduction of smartphones, or at least buying a smartphone for your child. And one of the things they do on social media very frequently is post information like tips and tricks and hacks to help parents reduce their own smartphone usage, help parents keep their kids off smartphones, things to do over the summer without your smartphone, that kind of thing. And because they are offering helpful tips, I signed up for their email list so fast as a parent of a preteen, right? I signed up so fast. That's what I want you to think about. What is going to make somebody excited to join your email list? Why would they want to subscribe? And you might be thinking, well, Kelly, we do this thing that is not serving you, so maybe you don't want to be on my email list. And I'm going to push back on that a little bit. I had a client who did a really incredible job with their email marketing and getting new subscribers. And they ran a refugee service in Uganda. They still do. And one of the things that they would do in their newsletter, yes, they were giving updates on their organization and things like that. But because they worked with refugees, because they were working with this Pan-African community located in Uganda, one of the things that they did in their mission in general was having a weekly night where they purchased the groceries and everybody got to cook something from their home country. And the whole group at their refugee shelter would vote on which dish was everybody's favorite that week. And then that's actually what went out in their newsletter, was the recipe for the winning dish. And so I thought that was such a clever way of bringing people into the mission. It helped the people on their email list get to know the people involved in their mission, and it connected people to the culture of their organization and everything. I thought that was a brilliant way to bring people into their email list. And so that's what they promoted and got people to sign up for. So somebody who's interested in African cuisine has a reason to be interested in the work that they're doing with refugees. It's a clear line from why would somebody subscribe to this email list to their donating, right? But it was something that helped people get an insight and had a reason to subscribe to their email newsletter that wasn't here updates about our shelter, right? Because that's great. And once people are bought in, they want to hear that. But honestly, that insider, what are we doing? How are our missions going? How are our programs going? Those are things that people already need to be bought in to care about. And so if we think about the relationship we're building with donors, we want to invite them in a low touch way, like joining our email list. And then we want to cultivate them, give them things that serve them, but also share our mission. So we're building community before we're asking them to get heavily involved, before we're asking them to really deeply care about our programmatic outcomes. And we're cultivating and nurturing and educating this audience. And then once they're sufficiently educated, then we can ask them for a gift. And then after that, then we dive deep. Then it's reporting back. Here's what happens. Here's what your gift made possible. All of those types of things. That's the theory of how we want to build relationships. Your assignment this week is to think about how to do that for your mission. People ask me all the time, what's the best way to do this? What's the best way to generate leads? What's the best way to get people on my email subscription list? I don't know. You're not a refugee service in Uganda, so this recipe thing is probably not going to be authentic to your organization. But where can you draw inspiration from the two examples I've given? How can you create something that will help you draw in people who would be aligned with your mission, who are interested in what you're doing, such that they subscribe to your email list? Okay, that's your assignment is just to reflect on that a little bit. And if you're having trouble coming up with ideas, I gave you 2 examples of many examples that I have. So if you're struggling to figure out why someone would want to get on your email list in the first place, shoot me an email at kelly@fromscratchfundraising.com, and I would love to hear from you and give you some feedback. At the same time, use my email address if you come up with a really brilliant idea. I'm always looking for new examples. So that is all you got to do this week, is think about, instead of coming on strong asking for a donation, how can we invite somebody onto our email list in a way that is gentle, inviting, welcoming, and get them to know, understand, and become passionate about our organization. Over the next few weeks, we're going to talk about how to build up this whole system. You don't need to build it today. 1 hour, spend a little time reflecting, thinking about what's possible. And I'll meet you here next week.
Now go make the world a better place.